Might be worthwhile pop down and grab a road.
Yeah.
That's the wireless. We can use it. We can use the wireless.
Yeah. Is that connect?
No, they're the
Ends. It's already out.
Yeah, I know. No, it's good. It's more than have one big fear for this one.
Oh, I've got one.
We're not like spent like what am I doing there? How you been?
So only another
Point I was back and forth, so I didn't. All right, leave it to it.
I saw your wife out the back.
No worries, mate. Getting there, Rob?
yeah.
Don't say that. When you're going with your big wheel, he enjoys those bad. It's not a stereotype.
Straight from there to here, mate. No rest of the week.
No, 3.5. 3.5 next month.
3.5. So that's 6.5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
1-2, 1-2. We'll get started in a couple of minutes, everyone. So if you want to come in, come up a bit closer if you can. Can you hear me down the back? All good, thank you. Right, everyone, we'll get started. Firstly, welcome to the 2024 Queensland Murri Carnival. My name's Ian Lacey. I run the event on behalf of the Arthur Beetson Foundation. We'll get started before we get into the official proceedings. We'll have a welcome to country from Tribal Experience, and then we'll have a dance performance from the Mabialo dancers. So I'll call on the Tribal Experience fellas first, just to give us a welcome to country and a dance.
The other tribal experience Aboriginal dancers. Descendants of the Yalgurn tribal group and also the Turrbal tribes. And some of us are also descendants of the Nurnuckle tribe from North Stradbroke Island. And some of us also descendants of neighbouring tribes throughout southeast Queensland. We'd like to welcome you here today with a welcoming song and dance we call Manacha. Which is the welcoming song and dance to welcome you. Also to welcome the good world. Descendants of Nurnuckle tribe from North Stradbroke Island. And this next song and dance we're going to do for you is one which we call Gurrigan, which is of the white crane bird. We believe that Gurrigan is a teacher of dance to our people in the dream time. Gurrigan will fly above the water in search of his suitable feeding ground. When he'd find his suitable feeding ground, he'd come down and grab his feed. When his belly is full, he begins to rise his wings and break into song and dance because he is happy. This is Gurrigan, teacher of dance to our people in the dream time, white crane bird. to experience Aboriginal Day, I'd like to say, Nanya Navali, you've been a wonderful audience. I'd like to thank you for inviting us here today to welcome everyone here today. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of the week. Good luck to all the teams playing out there this weekend and all through the week. Thank you, and have a good day.
Unfortunately, the Torres Strait dancers, the Murri dance troupe, are caught in traffic, I think. So, yeah, they're not going to perform at the moment, but we'll continue on. So welcome everyone to the 2024 Queensland Murri Carnival. I'd just like to acknowledge some of our special guests that are in the room before we get into the draw tonight to close out the opening ceremony. We've got Nikki Boyd, the local member for Pine Rivers. Director of Student Ujuru Unit for the Queensland University of Technology. Scott Parlis, the Director of the Nuragila Unit from University of New South Wales. Mayor Peter Flannery from the City of Moreton. The CEO of the Queensland Rugby League, Ben Eichen. The Chairman of the Arthur Beetson Foundation, Steve Johnson. And to all the teams that are here today. The carnival's getting bigger and bigger, and it's because of you guys that put your teams in every year. So we thank you. This is our biggest carnival to date. There'll be 105 teams that have participated in the QMC this year. There was 95 last year, so we've gone up, and we've added the extra girls division in the teenage age group. So now we've got an age group for every community member, from under sixes right through to men and women. So well done, and thank you to everyone that put your teams in, because this carnival wouldn't be what it is without you guys. I just want to acknowledge all of our sponsors. As you know, to put an event of this size on, it takes a lot of support. So we've got the Queensland Government through the Department of Sport and Rec, Health and Wellbeing Queensland, the Institute for Urban Indigenous Health and the Deadly Choices Program, Queensland University of Technology, University of New South Wales, the City of Moreton, the Queensland Aboriginal Islander Health Council, and the Commonwealth Bank Australia. So thank you to all those sponsors for supporting this carnival again. So before we get into the draw, we're just going to hear from some of our dignitaries here tonight. Just have a few words and sort of explain to us why they commit to this event. This event's been going since 2011. As I said, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And as I said, we wouldn't do this without our sponsors, our supporters. So firstly, I'll call up Nikki Boyd, the local member for Pine Rivers.
Thanks so much, Ian, and it's wonderful to be able to join with you today. Can I acknowledge that we meet on traditional land and pay my respects to elders past, present and also emerging. Can I acknowledge Ben and Steve and Mayor Peter and our local councillor Kat Tonks as well. It's wonderful to be able to join with you today. And I'm officially here representing our Tourism and Sports Minister, Michael Healy. Imagine having that job, being the Minister for Tourism and Sport. I see Phil smiling, but he's got a pretty good gig, but he's our local MP for Cairns. So he's up in the far north Queensland at the moment, so he's asked me to come along and say a couple of words and pass along his apologies as well. I'd just like to start by thanking everyone and congratulating you all for putting on this event. It is absolutely enormous. I think I came along to my first Queensland Murri Carnival when I didn't have grey hair. It was a number of years ago, and it was a great show. But to read the stats around what this carnival is in terms of participants and sponsors and folks right across our community getting active is absolutely fantastic. There can be no denying that Arthur Beetson was truly one of the greats of our game, and he represented our country so well. He was really, I think the face of a generation of players, and I'm so pleased that his legacy continues on here in our local community through the Queensland Murri Carnival. And his legacy is one that is truly inspiring, and it's wonderful to see so many boys and girls and men and women hit the field over the next 8 days to really embrace that and to celebrate being active, the sport of rugby league, but also to be healthy as well. But the cohesiveness that comes with that, the ability to connect with one another, to form those bonds and those friendships, I think is truly very valuable as well. So there's no denying that this carnival will bring with it lots of positive benefits to our community. The 2024 carnival is absolutely huge. So over 8 days, you're going to see 3,500 participants across 100 teams as everyone takes to the field to celebrate this great game. And there'll be many players who are taking part here with the skill and the talent necessary to reach a truly professional level. And hopefully we've got some Broncos or Cowboys or Titans players of the future, maybe even the Dolphins. I'm a Broncos fan myself. So my husband's a Cowboys fan, which made 2015 really interesting in our household. But I think, we could even have some Maroons or some Kangaroos here with us as well. I want to acknowledge the work that Queensland Rugby League does across our communities in local sport and across our game as well. And I speak to many professional athletes and many aspiring athletes across our community who tell me the benefits of being able to put on a jersey and to play the game that they love. And they're not just benefits for themselves, they're benefits for the broader community as well. So I want to acknowledge that. And I also want to acknowledge that we've got many kids who will be doing that over the next 8 days, who really aspire to take on every opportunity and to shine as well. But above all, I hope that everyone has fun, stays safe, hopefully there's no broken bones, and really enjoys getting out there and being active. From a Queensland Government perspective, we've had a really long association with the Murri Carnival. Over the last 12 years, we've put in almost $1 million to the carnival to really make sure that this event continues to grow and flourish. And I just hope that everyone who's associated with this carnival really feels proud of the contribution that you make. Events of this size and scale don't just come together easily. It takes an awful lot of effort from people behind the scenes. So I want to acknowledge all of those people who have been putting in the hard yards to make sure that the next few days run smoothly. One of the things I love about the Murri Carnival as well is that there's so many different connections that not only are just about people getting active and playing the game, but it's around how can we live healthier lives and how can we have better connections with one another. And I want to acknowledge, the partners and the sponsors that are involved in the Murri Carnival as well, and the Beetson Foundation for all of the work that you do, because I know that often when you put in this work, it's not always obvious what a big difference it makes, but from our government's perspective, we see that it makes a tremendous difference. So I want to wish all of the players and the coaches and the officials and supporters a really fantastic 2024 Queensland Murri Carnival. I hope you all have a fantastic time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you to the Queensland Government, Department of Sport and Rec and Tourism and Health and Wellbeing Queensland for your continued support. Our next speaker is an apology, Mr. Adrian Carson from the Institute for Urban Indigenous Health, but I'll call up our next one is Alicia Britton, who's the Director of Student Injury Unit at Queensland University of Technology. Not here either, okay. Well, we'll move on to the next one, sorry. So Director of the Neurogilly Unit, University of New South Wales, Scott Pilot.
Lacey, I'll take a quick dig to say good to see UNSW here over QT. Congratulations to everybody that come here to make the Queensland Murri Carnival such a successful carnival. We're extremely proud at Neurogilly, the Centre for Indigenous Programs at the University of New South Wales, to sponsor this carnival. It's more than just rugby league. It's about coming together as a community and creating opportunities for mob, no matter what they are. So at the university, we're all about education, but it's about advancing our mob, whether it's through university or through TAFE or through the workforce, we're here to support and guide all mob. So as we say at UNSW, no shame to educate, let's yarn, have a great week, and come on down, say good day to us. But massive congratulations to the Arthur Beetson Foundation for putting this carnival together.
Thank you, Scotty. Moving on to our next guest. This carnival's been held in this region for over a decade now. Mayor Peter Flannery.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute pleasure once again to be here. I'll just try to work out how many years it was that we've been supporting and sponsoring this program. So here it's 10 years. It's fantastic. Welcome to the city of Moreton Bay. Rugby league, I'm an old rugby league tragic, I suppose you call it. But it brings together different mobs from around Queensland, particularly through this carnival, to learn about each other's little differences, but also to learn about being part of a team. Because I think today the youth growing up, their focus has always been on themselves. They've always focused inwards. So to be part of a team sport, I think, is any opportunity out there, builds that character of them, builds that they use things more than themselves, and being part of that team is very important as they grow into great young adults in our communities moving forward. So the City of Moreton Bay is very honoured and proud to be part of this partnership with the Arthur Beetson Foundation and the Murri Carnival for many, many years to come into the future as well. So good luck to all the players out there, to the teams, the supporters and sponsors. Thank you for being part of it. Please take in and enjoy our beautiful City of Moreton Bay for your time off while you're here. There's plenty of things to see, from our coastlines to our hinterland areas and everything in between. But congratulations to all the groups and the support guys who put a fantastic carnival together each and every year. And having 105 teams like registered is significant accreditation, I suppose, to the organisation and to the carnival. So well done, and look forward to a great. Hopefully the weather will be good and some great teams, and hopefully drop back and see. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next guest is the CEO of the Queensland Rugby League. I'd also like to acknowledge a couple other people that are here, Darren Shute and Eddie Monet, who represent the QLD tonight. But yeah, I'll call up Benny Icon, the CEO of the QLD.
I must say I'm probably lucky to be here today with you. I recently did a trip with the Arthur Beetson Foundation out to Cow and Yarmouth, and I was taken on country and to a river where we were assured there were no crocodiles. This is in the week that old mate got taken by a crocodile, so my wife was very nervous. I said, no, I'll be right, I'll be well looked after. Anyway, we went to this river, we all jumped in and had a swim for an hour or so. There were kids happily playing. I arrived back in Brisbane only to be sent a photo that there was a sign put in exactly where we were swimming, be careful of the 5-metre crocodile. So I'm glad I made it, and I tell my wife I'm basically Steve Irwin now. For me, the trip was pretty eye-opening for a couple of reasons. I've never been to a remote Indigenous community. So to see how they operated, to get an insight into a different culture was really powerful for me. Doing trips on country, hearing all the backstories, and I think sitting in the back of a car while this was happening with a guy called James Roberts, who you've probably all heard of, who was learning some of that stuff the first time himself, was something I'll never forget. The other thing that it showed me was how well rugby league travels across the state. We love this game. It's in my bones. I'm sure it's in everybody else's bones here. But to see how it could impact a community like that and bring people together made me really proud to be a rugby league person and an Australian. So to think now that communities like that get the opportunity to travel hundreds and thousands of kilometres to come together because of the game and to celebrate culture and learn some stuff while we all come together, I think is a great testament to the game I love, to the people that have organised this carnival, which I know is becoming bigger and better every year. And I say on behalf of all of the board of the QRL, particularly our Indigenous Advisory Committee and our chair, Eddie Monet, who's with us today, we are extremely proud to play our small role in pulling this together. So Congrats to everyone who's involved. This is a wonderful thing, not just for our sport, not just for our state, but for our entire country. And to think that the bloke that first picked me in my first ever State of Origin team, his foundation sits at the centre of this, is something I'm personally very proud of. So I hope the carnival goes well, and congrats to everyone who's involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Benny. And our last speaker tonight is the chairman of the Arthur Beetson Foundation, Mr. Stephen Johnson. I'd also like to acknowledge Bill Reeves and Mark Beetson, who's here tonight to represent the foundation. But welcome to see the chairman, Steve Johnson.
Yeah, thanks everyone. What Ben didn't tell in that story was we knew that Croc might be there. Who could we throw in the expendable? So we put him in first. Then we thought it was safe and everyone jumped in. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and pay my respects to elders. I'd like to acknowledge, since we last met and gathered, that we lost Lionel Morgan, and I was so proud to see Uncle Lionel admitted into the Rugby League Hall of Fame. For those of you who don't know, he was the first Indigenous man to play any sport for Australia and rugby league, and everyone's beholding for the path he laid. Also, Eddie Monet, everyone's patting on the back, and everyone's followed to get a big head. Eddie, stand up please, because today he was inducted into the Order of Australia and presented his medal. So Eddie's now Order of Australia medal, and that's through his support and work he's done for rugby league and everyone in this room. So on behalf of the Arthur Beetson Foundation, everyone's already said how big this carnival is, and I'm sure that Arthur will be smiling up there, acknowledging the wonderful work that his family, his sons and Billy, his grandson's here today, who will play for Queensland, will change the rules. He's looking down at the work that's been done for the community and living his legacy. Arthur was a very proud Indigenous man, and he was also very proud of the work he did in creating opportunities for everyone to follow his path as the first Indigenous captain and coach of Australia. So we're very proud to continue Arthur's work, and we'll keep doing it for years to come, and we're happy to make him proud. And to everyone who's come along to the carnival to honour Arthur, all the best for the carnival. Have fun. Hope you all, as Ben said, we all learn a bit more about each other and enjoy each other's company, and we learn more about culture and family, and we have a great carnival. So to everyone, welcome to the carnival, and let's have a bit of fun.
Thank you, Jono. So to close out the opening ceremony, we've got the Mubby dance troupe, Tosho Don dancers here. So we'll call them up now to close out the opening ceremony.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our dance group's called Mubby Dancers, and we're a Brisbane family-based dance group that represents our island home, which is Mubby. In our language, we refer to it as an older name, Obi Bayagras. And so that's our island home in the western group of islands in Torres Strait. So our songs will be singing in our language, which is Kalalagoya. And the boys will be performing 3 songs this afternoon. And the songs are mainly about the lifestyle of home. The stories are about our women traveling the sea and just about the environment up there. And just in the Torres Strait. Before we start to perform, we'd also like to acknowledge the traditional people of this area and pay our respects to our elders that have gone before us and those that are here with us. Let's go. Thank you. share our song and dance with you. Hope you enjoy the performance as much as we enjoyed performing for you this afternoon. That's all.
Again, Matilda and the Nadia Manstru, Islands. All right, thank you everyone, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience there. That concludes our opening ceremony. So we'll now move into the draw for the Queensland Murri Carnival for 2024. Before we get into the actual draw, I'll just go through a few of the formalities with everyone, just so everyone's clear and understands how the carnival will be run. So yeah, the men's and women's usually kick off on Friday. Usually play your 3 round games on Friday and Saturday, and then the men's will move into a round of 16 on Saturday afternoon, and the women's will move into a quarter final, and then obviously the semi-finals and grand finals we played on Sunday. We've got the QRL team here again to assist with the event. So the match review process will be same as previous years. So if anyone is cited during a game, put on a report. That'll be cut up, sent to an independent panel, and then an outcome will be determined once they review that. So we've got Jamie Simpson here again, represent the Arthur Beetson Foundation. He'll look after all the on-field functions for the event. So you'll get to know him if you don't know him already from previous years. So he'll be the one that'll be contacting you if someone's put on a report, and then he'll go through the charge and the outcome. And then obviously you either accept the charge or you go to a judiciary. If a judiciary, we haven't had one for quite a while, touch wood, we don't have it again. But if there is a judiciary hearing needed to be held, we've got an independent panel that will sit on that judiciary, which is made up of former rugby league players, some QRL staff, so they'll then go through the judiciary process just as you would in clubland. Another big change this year was obviously around the HIAs. So there was a change from the 11-day to 19-day stand-down rule. That doesn't really have an effect on this carnival, given we only go for 3 days, but it'll be the same as with your general clubland. So if a player is deemed to be concussed during one of the games, they have to present themselves to the NRL medical tent. Once they present themselves to that medical tent, the medics will then assess. We've got paramedics and doctors on site again. They'll deal with it. If you're then deemed to be concussed or have symptoms of concussion, you'll be then given the paperwork that you then need. The individual is then responsible to follow through around their return to play. So it's not on us as the Arthur Beetson Foundation staff to remind that player. If that player is concussed and given paperwork at the event, it's on them to go and see the doctors and go through the appropriate processes to be cleared to return to play. So if they don't do it, it'll affect their clubland or another carnival they go to. There is, if you want more information on the HIA stuff, there is all the protocol and information on the QRL website, the NRL website, and we've also got Darren Schuth here again from the QRL, who's happy to answer any questions. The other big change for the carnival this year was around suspensions. So previously, if you were suspended coming into the carnival, you were able to serve time, and if you were suspended during the carnival, you were able to serve time. That rule was scrapped, and so the ruling now is if you are suspended currently, you cannot take part in the QMC and you cannot serve time at the QMC. Okay, so if you've got any players in your team that are suspended, we will find out because we do have the QRL here on site. You guys have all been working with Jamie, Jolene and Kia on your team registration process. So we've got My Sideline, which I'll talk a bit more about soon, but everyone has to be registered My Sideline, so if you are suspended, we will know and we'll find out. So please don't try and play any suspended players. The dispute process hasn't changed, so if you do have a dispute that you want to lodge after a game, if you think something you've been done wrong by, you've got 10 minutes to lodge it. So you come up to our admin area, lodge your complaint or your dispute that you want to lodge, and you have to pay a fee of $500. So it's not on my team to answer your questions. I'm not going to take anyone coming up to us saying, oh, he's not registered or he's suspended or whatever. If you've got a formal process that you want to, formal complaint you want to lodge, that's the process. Everyone has to follow it. We won't be just chasing up leads on someone said, he said, she said. So please everyone respect that, please follow that, and then everyone will get along fine. Another thing I just want to touch on was insurance claims for injuries at our carnival. Just want to make sure everyone understands the process. So The good news around everyone registering on my sideline is that everyone's now covered under QRL insurances, which is great because their insurance cover is actually better than the additional insurance that we used to go and purchase to cover the people that weren't registered with a local footy club. So that's great that we're all covered now under insurance, but everyone just needs to understand the process around claiming on that. So we've had probably about 5 or 6 instances this year of people contacting us asking such and such got injured at last year's QMC and they need surgery or whatever. You've got 30 days after the carnival to lodge your insurance claim. So if any of your players get injured, please make sure they go and see the NRL medical tent. As I said, we've got a team of paramedics and doctors there, and their job is to assess your injury. They will give you the paperwork that you need to lodge an insurance claim. So if anyone gets injured at this event, we want to make sure that then you're able to access that insurance and get any surgeries or anything needed. But we've just got to make sure that you do it within the time frame, because if you let that time lapse and then you come to us 8 months down the track, it's going to be very hard to get that insurance over the line. So just please note that and make sure that any injuries in your game, just make sure they go see the medical tent. Even if it's not serious, it might lead to a serious injury after that. So just make sure you're using that resource that we've got at this event, and so we can look after all your players in the long run. My sideline, as I said, thank you to everyone that's been working with our team, Jamie, Jolene and Kia. We really appreciate, I know it's a lot of hard work trying to get everyone registered, but as I said, there's a lot of benefits that come with having everyone registered. So there has been a bit of double handling, but we appreciate all your work. I think we've got close to 60 or 70% of people registered on my sideline for the event, so well done. I really appreciate your efforts there. For those that aren't registered with my sideline yet, so obviously we understand some of you might not have finalised your teams until even today or tomorrow, please make sure those players click on the link. If they're already registered with the local club, it's just pretty much putting their NRL ID number in and that's done. If they aren't registered, then there's a bit of a process that we have to go through around identification and other things. So we've got the team from the QRL here again at the carnival. They'll help you with anything you need in that regard. So please make sure you utilise them and come and ask them any questions. But the bottom line is, if they are not registered on my sideline, they cannot take the field on Friday. So you need to make sure you get your team sorted tonight or tomorrow. If you've got any questions, your team manager or coach should know the contacts to make contact with. So it's either Jolene, Kia or Jamie from the ABF, or it's Liberty or Darren from the QRL. Please make sure you get that done, because they will not be able to take the field. If they are not registered on my sideline, they will not be able to play on Friday. Cool. And then if there's any issues around registration, as I said, identification, all that, that's what the QRL staff are here for. Same thing with our QMC portal. So your team lists and all your documentation needs to be uploaded before you take the field on Friday. So again, thank you to everyone that's been working with our team on that. This year has been leaps and bounds, ahead of where we've been previously. So I really appreciate your efforts. We're trying to make that system as easy as possible to utilise, and it's all around how we keep the safety of our players. So we just got to make sure the team lists are accurate, the documentation matches the player, and then once they play in that position, they'll be locked into that number for the carnival. So I understand some of you might not have a full 25 on the first game, and you play 20, that's fine. You'll still have 5 spots you can slot in during the carnival, but the players that do play in that first game will be locked to that number, and they cannot change after that. The other thing about questions we get around the games is how many games you have to play to qualify. You have to play 1 game at the carnival before you can play in the finals. So that 1 game for the men's is any of the round games or the round of 16. For the women's, it's any of the round games. Okay, before you get to the quarterfinal, you have had to play 1 game at the carnival. You cannot bring anyone else new in after those round games for the women or round games around 16 for the men. Again, if you play with 20 for the first couple of games, you've got 5 spots to fill, that's fine. We'll accept that, but once we get to quarterfinal stage, if they haven't played, they cannot play. Are there any questions on my sideline or QMC portal? No? Hopefully you have been communicating well on it. As I said, Darren's here, our team's here. Please come and see us after this. That's why we hold the draw a couple of days for the event now, so we've got a day and a half pretty much just to sort the formalities. So then once we get to Friday, you can get on the field and do what you do best. Now I'd just like to call up Uncle Barry Fisher and his team. So last year we implemented what we call the Artie Beetson Ambassadors which is a group of our prominent elders in our community. That their job was pretty much just to sit on the sidelines and try and uphold the spirit of the game, essentially. So just make sure everyone's playing in the best spirits, listening to the refs, listening to the staff. They did a fantastic job last year. You would have got to know them. They had their orange shirts. They'll have their orange shirts on again this year. As I said, these guys and ladies are prominent elders in our community. They've done a lot for our communities, and they're here with the best intentions just to make sure this event runs to the smoothest as it can possibly run. As you may know, we have had some incidences over the last couple of years, and we just want to make sure we're trying to get that out of the carnival. We want to make sure everyone's here having fun, and that's what these elders are here to do. So I'll just introduce Uncle Barry Fisher, and he can talk about his team.
Hey again, people. It's much to be here again. Ian actually didn't come in and help him out, but what's going to happen here at the carnival over the weekend and the following weekend, all I can say is just that get out there, play your best football and have a good time. Enjoy yourself, that's what it's all about. So good luck with everyone and have a good crack at it.
I think probably the other thing is that very important that on the sideline, you got the dugouts where we expect the reserves, the coach and place to be. If we come along and say to you guys, can you move back a bit? The last thing we want is somebody giving us a cheek and say, what we're there for to protect every single person, the people on the field and also the people on the sideline. And if we come to you and say to you, can you move back a bit, please stay away. Only people that's in the dugout, only gets the reserve, the coach and the water boy or whatever, water girl, and everybody need to stay behind the line. Because if something happens, and we know, especially the heat of the moment, things do happen, and people carry on a little bit. What we try to do is just to calm the situation. It's important that we do that so people look. You can play hard as you want, but also within the rules, and that's very important. And I'll just reiterate that the field is protected, by barriers, and we expect everybody to stay behind there. And if somebody's running up the sideline and they get tackled and they roll over and hit somebody on the thing, or a little child or whatever, that is what we want to prevent. Okay, so if we come and ask you to stand back, please do.
Thank you very much. That's our RDBC ambassador. So you'll have one on each side of the field. So we'll have a team on each side of the field, so there will be no teams on the same side. So again, as I said, just listen to what they say and look after yours. Yep, thank you. Now I'd like to call up Donald Hanson. He's our lead commentator. So for those that don't know, we live stream every game at the QMC on every field. We have a commentary team. Everything can be watched on the QMC app. So those that haven't been involved in the carnival before, please tell your family members and your supporters to download that app because you can watch the game. If you can't physically make it here, they can watch you play still. Donnie leads up a fantastic commentary team, which is made up of professional callers, and then we've also got some of our After Beetson Foundation Future Immortals players that are support commentators. So I'll let Donnie talk about what his team do.
Thanks, Ian. Hello, everyone. We're not Fox Sports. We're not NITV. We're also not Channel 9. We don't have the resources. We call this once a year. As mentioned, 105 teams, 3,000 players. We've got to remember that. Okay, we want to do the right thing by your community. And first of all, get your name right on the team. And all the players, managers, and everyone else and support staff. We also want to make sure that we get those side stories. We'll come up to you with our team sheets. Even though it might be in the system, we'll just double check it to make sure that pronunciations are correct and all that. And then we'll want to get those side stories. Who's the good player to watch out for? Who's representing the community? Who's going and doing this and that? So we want to make sure we do the right thing by you guys. Do it right by us, we'll do it right by you, and this will be on social media forever. So just remember, let's get it right.
Thank Thank you, Donnie. Also, just a couple of things. They've been around for many years now, but the water and ice, so we'll have water coolers on each sideline. We'll have staff members that will replenish that, so you don't have to worry about water and ice when you're playing. It'll be refilled throughout the day, so you just rock up, your trainers can go, fill your water bottles up, and we'll look after that for you. Every team will get an ice pass, so when you sign for your gear, so that'll give you 1 bag of ice per day. So if you need to get a bag of ice for injuries or whatever, you come up to the admin area and you'll have that. We'll be able to get you a bag of ice per day. As I said earlier, we've got the NRL medics that will be in attendance. So their job is to look after all the on-field injuries and all the general first aid. So please utilise that resource. Just a couple of things in regards to them. Sometimes they might not get on the field as quick as some of you want. We understand. If you see one of your players go down, everyone wants someone to attend straight away. They are there positioned on every field. They will make their way on and they will look after the injury. Just please make sure we respect that and don't abuse them. They've got a job to do. Let them do their job. Any injuries on the field, as I said, they'll handle. If there's ambulances required, they'll handle it. And they'll give you the appropriate paperwork to make sure you're looked after. We'll also have the physios there again, as we've had in previous years. So every team will get 10 rolls of strap and tape as per usual, but we'll have that tent set up. So if you don't have the resource of an experienced strapper or you've got too many people to be strapped, go down and see that physio tent. They'll be there. They'll have other strapping tape at their disposal. They'll be able to cater towards any of your strapping requirements. And they are physios, so they can do some light injury assessment functions if you need, but they're not there to do treatment. So there may be some cases where they might do a little bit of treatment if they think that's the best thing to get the player back on the field straight away, but please don't think that they're there to be doing rub downs and everything like that. So they'll be there to strap and make sure that you're going on the field safe, and they can do some basic injury assessment stuff, and they'll liaise with the NRL medics if there's any scans or anything else that's required from injuries on the field. We'll also have the team from Rebel here, so thanks Rebel for your continued support of the carnival. They'll be set up next to the physio marquee and the medics, and they'll be there with their stretch bands and their warm-up processes. They'll be able to do demonstrations for any of your teams if you want to talk around how to warm up correctly, what are some of the different exercises you need to do. So again, utilise them if you want. Go down, say hello and see what they've got to offer. Ball kids, so we've put the call out to all of you this year to see if you can have some ball kids look after your game. Reason being, we've just failed miserably in the last few years just trying to get our ball kids, enough ball kids. As you know, there's a lot of games that get played at this QMC, so 5 fields. We've really struggled to get ball kids that are there and stay there. The poor little kids get very hot and exhausted. So that's why we put the call out to you. So thank you to those that have come back to us and said you can have you've got a kid. We'll give them a lunch pass for doing your game, so send them over to us after they do that. But yeah, we will have some ball kids as per usual, but you're just helping us out, making sure that we've got the kids there to get the ball back into play in the appropriate time frame. If we don't have them, obviously your games will be delayed, and then everyone will start getting frustrated because you're losing time. So thanks to those that have done that. Last thing before we get on the draws, so the prize money. So the prize money will be the same as last year. So last year we had 26 men's teams and 8 women's teams. We've got 24 men's and 8 again this year. Actually 23, we just lost one team this evening. But so it'll be $30,000 for the men, and $6,000 to the community project, and then $10,000 for the runner-up and $2,000 to a community project. And then for the women, it's $15,000 for the winner, with $3,000 to a community project, and $5,000 for the runner-up, $1,000 to a community project. So for those community projects, please make sure you've told Jolene or Kia what your community project is. They'll have to invoice the Arthur Beetson Foundation after the event. So please make sure that's been communicated, and then we'll make sure that gets sorted. And then with the prize money, we will do our best to get that to you as soon as we can on Sunday. We understand you just won and you just want that money straight away. Just understand that we have a carnival to close down and things like that. So we will try and get it to you as soon as we can on the Sunday after you win. Just make sure, please show a little bit of patience for us. The cash will be transferred to everyone on that Sunday evening. All right, that's the formalities. Let's get into the draw for the 2024 Queensland Murri Carnival. So we'll start with the women's team. So as I said, we've got 8 teams representing the carnival this year. So So what we'll do is we'll do the draw, same as previous years. We'll have our celebrity, Mr. Eddie Monet, come up and be the celebrity spinner. Once your team then gets called out, you come and press the button, determine your place in the draw. Once you've done that, you'll go outside and you'll sign your documents, which you'll then receive your gear. So your jersey, short socks, your box of water bottles, your box of strap and tape, your tickets to get in, and your ice pass. So please, once you come do your draw, go outside, see the girls, and they'll look after you. All right, let's start with the women's for 2024.
Ready? I'm hungry, let's go. Look hungry.
Hey, look. And dummy connections.
Magic finger. Yep.
Number 8.
Good to see you again.
Next one, Ed. You go get your gear now.
Oh, I never.
Eddie broke it.
One job, Eddie. Easy.
Bayside Sisters.
Back again. Say when?
Number 5.
Say when?
Jonathan and Frederick Memorial Team.
Not me, but you. Let's see.
Number 4. Defending champions, Mungandai Panthers.
Easy to see. Button. That's it.
Number 2. Multiple winner, Brisbane Natives. Number 1. Brisbane Blacks, JB Senior Memorial Team.
All right.
Number 3. Murri Gumbers. Number 7, and that leaves SEQ Magic. Is that number 6 or 9?
6.
Number 6. Good luck to all of our women's team competing at the 2024 Queensland Rugby. Rightio, moving on to the men. And the So we've got 23 teams in the carnival this year. We lost one earlier this evening, so that'll mean there will be a bye. So whoever was scheduled to play against the 24th team will become a bye.
We're off.
Rightio, on to the men. BMD United.
Hi, welcome. Good.
Number 11.
Yeah.
So as I said, the draws will go up onto the QMC app after this. Jade and the Doss Adams Memorial Team. So we'll put the draws up on the screen here after this, but they'll also be on the QMC app. So please download the app. You'll be able to see the draw. Number 15. Sunshine Coast Bunyas Black. Number 17. Palm Island Barracudas. Number 6. One Mob Speedy Connections.
Press up.
Number 9. Eagles United.
Please, that's cool to watch. See you.
Number 18. JJL Memorial. Number 1. John Kemp Memorial. Number 5. Mergan Murray's, they're not doing so, I don't think, so you have to press it for them then.
Ready?
Number 20. Undumby Connections. Number 23. The defending champs, Purgaway. Number 12. Coastal Blacks. Number 7. European Dayak. Is there anyone here from there? That team? Nope. Nope. Good. Number 13. Last year's grand finalist, Darkies Connection.
Play coach.
Number 2.
Early in the morning.
Okie Red Valley Blacks. Number 3. Brisbane Blacks, JP Senior Memorial. Number 16. Brisbane Natives. Number 10.
Brisbane Native.
Brisbane Native.
Ready?
Country Brothers. Number 4. Wynnum Manly Murrays. Number 22. Bruce Fisher Memorial Team. Number 8. Yurgi Korea. They're not here tonight.
Okay. Hang on.
Number 21. Did that one, Rob?
Yeah, that was Johnson Memorial.
Yurgi.
Yeah. DTJ Memorial.
East Coast Sharks. Number 14.
Thank you.
And that leaves the Sunshine Coast Bunyas white team in number 19. Alright, that concludes our draw. Thank you to all the special guests that came along tonight. Good luck to all the players on the weekend, and we'll see you all on Friday.